Everyone keeps saying Utah is affordable, but is it really? In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what it costs to live here. From real home prices to utilities to groceries, heck, I might even take you on a grocery shopping trip. So I can show you what I pay personally each month. If you're planning on moving here, this could be the eye-opener that you need to avoid making a costly mistake. Hey there, I'm Scott Walters, the Best USA Realty. I am your Utah YouTubing realtor. I help people buy, sell, relocate to the Utah County area and all of Utah really. And I get asked all the time, Scott, what does it really cost to live in Utah? So today I'm showing you the real numbers, the real data, what it costs me to live here in Utah, just so you can have that full picture. Hey, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap on the notification bell so you can stay current every time I drop another video about living in Utah. And I've got a relocation guide. It's in the comments, or the link is in the description in the comments down below. With that, let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the real numbers here in Utah. Okay, let's just talk a couple quick numbers. So I was just doing a little research that shows that Utah's cost of living is now 5% above the national average. That is based on 2024 data. It's also 20 to 30% more expensive than the national average for housing. This is something we've definitely seen. Housing costs have really risen. Recently, I was back east and the home prices, well, really in the Midwest, the home prices I saw there in rural Missouri and Iowa were way less than they are here in Utah. Our median home prices really getting close to $600,000. So the housing costs here in Utah, very expensive. Now, when it comes to utilities, healthcare, and transportation, it says our costs are pretty much near the average, maybe slightly below the national average there. Grocery and goods on inflation have gone up here in Utah just like they have in the rest of the United States. So you're paying a lot more for groceries and cars and whatever else. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick overview of Utah, but let me kind of break down a little bit of my own personal housing expenses every month. Okay, let's talk cost of living. This is everybody's most expensive part of living. Just where do you live? How much do you pay for your house payment? So I've got a statement here. This is on our house. We currently pay $2,076.55 for our mortgage. You can see we've got a pretty good interest rate at 3.375. Not the lowest I've seen, but I'll take it. Our principal is $738.22, interest $818.69, and the escrows, that's your taxes and insurance, that's $519.64. We do have a fixed rate, so this is one of those payments that does go up every year as the county collects more taxes. As home prices increase, they collect a little more taxes, so that number keeps going up. I wish it weren't there, but that's what it's at. Anyway, that's what our housing payment is. Now, it's probably going to be a little more for most people that are renting. Currently, I have a rental home that's 3,000 square feet. It's 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2-car garage, 3rd acre lot. I rent that for $2,900 a month. And that's pretty typical along the Wasatch, or at least along Utah County. I would say that most homes that are in that 5-bed, 3-bath range are going to rent anywhere from $2,900 to like $3,500 or $3,600. You can get cheaper rent if you take a look at renting like a townhome. A lot of those are renting around $2,200 to $2,400 in that range. And then condos are right around the $1,800 a month range. Single rooms, I'm seeing rent from anywhere from $400 to $600. I do have 2 kids that rent rooms plus a kitchen. They're paying $800 each, so just kind of gives you an idea of what it is to rent. Well, when it comes to house payments, it can be quite a bit more just because interest rates are higher, and I'll go over some sample payments later of a typical single family home, and these are all new construction, of a townhome and of a condominium. So I'll give you an idea of what you could expect in payments in homes, brand new homes right now with the higher interest rates. So anyway, that's what we're looking at, $2,076 a month for our house payment. This next one shocked me a little bit because I hadn't looked at the cable internet bill in a while. It was $2.99. We actually ran out of all the promotions they had going, so I've got to call, get some promotions back on there. But I am kind of paying for an upgrade to be able to have a high-speed internet. I work out of my house. I need super reliable internet, so I do pay a little bit more, and plus I'm also bundling that with some cable. This is probably quite a bit higher than I think most people pay for their internet service and cable service. I know a lot of people just get internet and then just stream their entertainment like with Netflix or whatever it is. So this is probably a little higher than most people. Okay, so when it comes to your utility bill, this is a lot of people ask this question: how much are utilities? I don't know for every city, but I live in Salem City. I think it's pretty typical for most of the cities here in Utah County. Last month we paid, let me get down to that, we paid $404.97. You can see that includes our electric bill, our water bill, our metered pressured irrigation bill, pressurized irrigation. So that's for like our sprinkler system for our grass and garden. Sewer, storm drain, garbage, recycle, etc. The electric's probably a little bit higher because of course we're running the AC most all day long, so that drives the electric bill up in the summertime. Will probably be a little bit less in the wintertime. Also, I have a little bit larger home, and so in my previous home I lived in, it was half the size of the home I'm in now, and conversely my bill was half this. So for that home the bill would be around 200 bucks, maybe a little bit more. So just keep that in mind. This bill can vary based upon the size of your house and how much area you're having to heat or cool. This next page just kind of shows some of the rates for Salem City, which I think is pretty typical again for most utility rates along Utah County here. Like you can see, we have a base rate for electric, which is $18.25 a month, and then they charge a different rate depending on how many kilowatt hours that you use. I mean, same thing with the culinary water. You can see we have a base rate of $23.29, and then they increase that based upon your water usage. So you can you can make your bill way more than what I'm paying if you're using a lot more of these services. Sewers and stuff like that, and garbage cans, those are just going to be the same for pretty much everybody. I mean, you can get 1 or 2 garbage cans, so that'll change your bill that way. I have 2 garbage cans and a recycle can. I think one of the other big bills a lot of people have, this would be their heating bill. So we use Enbridge, which is of course the only one we can use for our gas. Last month was $47.28. This can be a little bit deceptive because we're summertime, we're not using a lot of the gas, just pretty much for like our hot showers and hot water. But in the wintertime, this more than doubles. It's probably around $150 a month in the wintertime, as we're running a lot more gas through the system with our furnace keeping the house hot. You can do what's called equal payments, where they just basically kind of give you the same payment year round. We just have never done that. This is just kind of where we've stayed. Thinking about relocating to Utah? Well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research. And I've linked it down below, from top employers to the best hospitals and a boatload of other things that you need to know before making the move. The best part is this guide is 100% free. That's right, you heard me right, 100% free. Just click the link in the description on the top pinned comment. Hope that helps. All right, follow me as we head on into the Smith's grocery store. I'll just give you an idea what it's like to go on a basic grocery run to the store, pick up a few items. We're heading out on a trip here in a couple days, having a family gathering tomorrow. It's a big holiday here in Utah. It's the 24th of July tomorrow. Celebrates when the Mormon pioneers came into the Salt Lake Valley. Really, it feels kind of a lot like another 4th of July. Lots of parades and fireworks and stuff. Anyway, we're gonna have a big dinner. I need to pick up some stuff for our dinner that we'll have tomorrow. So come with me, let's check it out. All right, saw some corn. I thought I'd pick it up. Haven't had corn all year. I mean, what's more summer than corn? I don't see just stacks of corn laying around like normally. They're actually pre-packaged, which is a little weird, but $2.99 for 4 years. I'm gonna get 2 packages of them. All right, I'm gonna get some green leaf lettuce. My sister-in-law made us a salad years ago with green leaf lettuce. Now I can't buy any other lettuce. I don't even like iceberg lettuce anymore. So we're gonna have a fresh salad. So I'm gonna get a nice head of green leaf lettuce for $2.19 each. Okay, normally I would get tomatoes to go on the salad, but it's summertime. One way that we save money on groceries is we grow a big garden. My garden tomatoes at home are starting to come on, and they are 50,000 times better than a store-bought tomato. So we'll pass on the 99 cents a pound tomato. All right, so we're going on a trip early next week, so I'm gonna get some bread for sandwiches. We really like this, I don't know, this old-fashioned style of bread. This one's it's on sale 2 for $5, so that's $2.50 a loaf. We'll get 2 of those. This brand next door tastes the same, but it's $2.99, so saving a couple pennies. All right, obviously 24th of July, they've priced their watermelons super cheap, $2.99 each. That's pretty crazy, so I'm gonna pick a good one out. I actually worked on a watermelon farm in Arizona growing up. That one's got the right sound. All right, I'm gonna get some butter. It's $4.49. It's got 4 sticks of butter in it. Gotta have that for the corn. All right, going on this trip, you gotta have some string cheese. Makes for a nice little snack. This is $10.49. It's 24 in here. My kids will eat that pretty quick. Okay, now we're gonna pick out some deli meats to go for our trip. They've got some Oscar Mayer on sale for $4.99. Let's grab a couple. I really like the turkey breast, so we're gonna get some of that. Whatever flavor you like, son.
I like the darker meat one.
Like ham
like a
or
roast beef.
Well, I don't see a roast beef.
Maybe they don't have it, but that's all right.
I see some up here. This is the store brand, and it's $3.99, so it's a little cheaper. So that'll last us one day of our trip. Let's go grab some sliced cheese. All right, bud, you're filming, but what do you want? You want some provolone?
No.
No.
I like cheddar. I always like
Extra sharp?
Yes.
These are 3 for. I like Swiss. You good with that?
Yeah.
All right, that'll be for our sandwiches. We probably ought to go get some squeezable mayo. Let's go find it. All right, we're gonna try something new. I've actually never used Duke's mayo, but right now it's on sale. If you buy 3 of them, you can get it for basically $3 a jar rather than $5. We're gonna be on a 10-day trip, so we'll probably go through it. All right, so we're back in the produce because I forgot to get potatoes for tomorrow's dinner. I wanted to do something that's quick and easy but pretty delicious. So we'll just do some baked potatoes, $4.19 for this 10-pound bag. Okay, we're gonna go find out what the damage is. We're gonna go check out and see how much this little shopping trip is gonna cost us. Now again, this is just gonna be for one dinner tomorrow and a couple lunch meals on our trip that we take next week. So this is not a huge grocery haul. It's just a few things. All right, so as you can see, we actually chose a small cart. I knew I wasn't going to get a ton of stuff today. There's not a lot in there, but that grocery bill is $70.08 for all this stuff. Again, this will cover our meal for tomorrow, but it's maybe a little bit bigger than average meal where it's kind of for a family party. And then I got enough supplies to last us for a couple lunches for the trip that we're going on. Okay, let's talk a little bit about where you're going to find the more affordable versus more expensive housing here in Utah County. So I just kind of wanted to pull out a map here and show you kind of the lay of the land for Utah County. Utah County is just south of Salt Lake City. Provo and Salt Lake are separated by about 50 miles, not quite, but so this whole area I'm circling here, that's Salt Lake County. To the south of it, starting at Lehi, this is all Utah County. And so we'll be talking about the affordable areas in Utah County to live. So let me zoom back in. So generally speaking, the further south you go in Utah County, the more affordable things get. You come on down to Santaquin and Payson, there's a lot of new developments down here where you'll find probably most affordable housing in Utah County, with the exception maybe Eagle Mountain's got some pretty similar pricing. You'll find new single-family homes in the 500,000 range, townhomes in the 400. Kind of the same thing in Payson. As you come up to Spanish Fork, kind of similar type pricing, a little bit more. I had a couple not too long ago that they did find the exact same builder, same floor plan as Spanish Fork and Santaquin, and it was like 60,000 less in Santaquin, but I think they had a little bit of a sale going on. But typically you'll plan to find a little better deals here in Santaquin and Payson. Now Salem, Elk Ridge, and then let me zoom in so you can see, in Woodland Hills, they're all right here, kind of backing up against Mount Loafer. This is a large mountain. These have become kind of bedroom communities with very expensive homes, like the Summit Creek area. Quite expensive. Actually, I did a video on the most expensive places to live in Utah County, and I covered Summit Creek a little bit, so go check that video out. But yeah, a lot of expensive homes here in Woodland Hills, Elk Ridge, and Salem. Salem does have a couple new builders that are building some more starter type home. You got a D.R. Horton development right here against the mountains. They've got single family homes in the 500,000 range. Same with Flagships, got some close to downtown in that same range. And then some builders out here like Century Homes has got some homes out here in the northwest that are also in that range. So Salem's starting to get something that's more affordable compared to a lot of areas. Now Mapleton here has always been kind of more of an exclusive area. A lot of large homes, a lot of mansions, a lot of homes on acreage. Cool location because you're really close to downtown Provo, maybe 15-20 minutes. And so you get close, you can get in there real quick, but you feel like you're out in the country when you come to Mapleton. The view here of Maple Mountains just stunning, absolutely beautiful. So not as many affordable homes, although they do have a new development down here by Edge Homes, where they've got some gorgeous homes that are more affordable, and townhomes and condos in this area. And I did make a video on this particular area, so I'll try to put a link somewhere up here where you can go watch that video on that neighborhood. Springville's also got some more affordable homes, but again, if you come up here along the benches where you've got views overlooking the valley and the lake and everything, you'll pay more money. And of course, going up Hobble Creek Canyon and up the left fork of Hobble Creek, you'll find some pretty expensive homes up that way as well. Now, as we move north into Provo and Orem, again, anything that stays along the foothills here, along the mountains, these homes have incredible views. A lot of these homes are established. I mean, they've been there for a while, but because they're in such a desirable area, you'll pay quite a bit of money for them. So more expensive area here along the east bench of Provo. Same thing if you're up here kind of in the foothills of Mount Timpanogos and Orem, you'll pay a pretty good price for those homes. You'll find some more affordable homes kind of more in the center of this area, but particularly for Provo, down here in this East Bay area and on the west side and these, these North Shore, Lake Shore, forgetting the name of those neighborhoods, you'll find some newer subdivisions with more affordable housing. Like you've got a D.R. Horton townhome project right here. So that's some more affordable housing. One thing that's cool about these neighborhoods, man, you're really close to that Provo airport. That airport's really growing. They're going to take that from like 4 to 10 terminals here shortly. So anyway, that one's growing. So Vineyard is a really cool city. For the longest time, it was really tiny. There used to be a steel mill there called Geneva Steel. It used to be one of the biggest employers in Utah Valley, but it went out of business or left or whatever it did, and developers bought this land, kind of reclaimed it, and then they built a huge city here now. Lots of brand new apartments, townhomes, condominiums, single family homes, 55 plus homes, just a lot of options, a lot more affordability here in this area. Linden's a really cool community because it's also close to everything, but it feels like you're out in the country. A lot of homes on land there, acre or more, so it just feels, still feels country-like. I love it in Linden. American Fork's got some nice new neighborhoods, especially here at this American Fork crossing area right here, basically at Interstate 15 and this Pioneer Crossing Road. In this area, there's a lot of new construction. It's right close to a tracks line, so that's a big draw for people that want to commute. So they've got, again, here they got a lot of new townhomes, condominiums, single-family homes going pretty much all the way out to the lake. So it's a really beautiful area, but very centrally located as far as being really close to Interstate 15. It's a little congested getting in and out of here right now around those peak rush hour times. That is one drawback. And this whole corridor up here can get very congested, so that's one drawback to that area. But affordability is pretty good, especially Lehi here in this west side of Lehi. A lot of new construction, quite a bit of affordability in that area. Just moving up north here, you've got Cedar Hills, Highland, and particularly Alpine are considered quite exclusive areas with very expensive homes. You'll find many mansions up here in Alpine, a lot of big, beautiful homes, very expensive real estate in Alpine. Highland's also got some very expensive real estate. And then Lehi in this area, in the Traverse Mountain area, is kind of up in the foothills, starting to get some pretty expensive homes up in this area as well, this part of Lehi. And then there's another community here called Suncrest. This is a really cool community. It's actually in the city of Draper, which is in Salt Lake, but part of the city straddles the Salt Lake, Utah County lines. This is a little hill or a little mountain, and they've built this community right up in this area. In some parts of it, you can actually look north into Salt Lake and south into Utah County. It's a really cool location, but also, a little more expensive to live in that area. Now, finally, let's come over here more on the west side of Utah Lake. You've got two new communities out here called Saratoga Springs and Eagle Mountain. Really, they're about 25 years old. That's all their growth has pretty much taken place in the last 25 years. They've gone from little towns of like 1,000 to now you've got like over 100,000 people between these two cities. So Saratoga Springs runs right along the west bank here of Utah Lake. You will find more affordable homes, particularly as you come down further south. Eagle Mountain, you can't actually see Eagle Mountain from like Provo, Orem, because there's Lake Mountain right in between this part of Utah County and Eagle Mountain. But out here, they've got a lot of brand new developments, a lot of different developers out here building homes, and you've got some real affordability in this area. So a lot of people that move from out of state definitely come looking in this area. It's a little more deserty, a little more dry out here. This is definitely not going to be a wooded area. If you're looking for a lot of woods in that way, this is more deserty. If you want kind of the woods and that type of mountain scenery, you'll be more over here on the east benches here in Utah. And then lastly, I don't know if I can't remember if I covered it or not, but on the south end of Utah Valley, you do have this area between Interstate 15 and Utah Lake. This is really, you got Palmyra, Lakeshore, Benjamin, West Mountain. These are all rural communities. These are homes that are on 5 acres plus, so not particularly affordable. But if you're looking for an area that's got homes with land and feels like you're out in the country, this is the place to be. So I hope that helps you kind of get an idea of places where you can find cheaper homes versus more affordable or more expensive homes here in Utah County. Hey there, it's Scott Walters with Best USA Realty, your Utah YouTubing realtor. And as much as I love making these videos, there's one thing that I love more, and that's helping families and people from all over the U.S. to move here. I've helped countless families move, so whether you're thinking of moving next week, next month, or even next year, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact is right here on the screen, and it's linked in the description down below, just in case you missed the pop-up. I look forward to helping you and your family make the move here to Utah. Okay, one thing I wanted to do for you real quick is just kind of give you an idea of payments for very typical homes along here in Utah County. And actually these are for, the first one's for Riverton. This is just an email that I got from a local builder here that builds in Utah County and Salt Lake County. This is the typical home that they build, a 4-bed, 2.5 bath. They're marketing that for $747,900 right now. Square footage is 3,450, but the finished square footage is 2,294. That means it's got a basement that's probably around 1,000 square feet that's unfinished. And then your finished square footage would be your main level here and your upper level. So that's a very typical looking new build here in Utah. So let's just say you're putting, I just kind of wanted to run some payment options for you real quick. So if you take $747,900, and we'll enter that. Let's say maybe 20% as your down payment. That'd be a pretty hefty down payment. That's $149,580 as a down payment to give you an 80% loan to value loan. So let's recall one and minus that. Let's see. Let's go $747,900. Store one, 20%, recall one minus. Okay, change signs. So that would give us a loan amount of $598,320. So that is your principal value. So let's say the current interest rate is 7%, so 7 GI, and most people are doing 30-year mortgages. So if you do a 360N for 360 months, your payment on that would be $3,980. That's principal and interest only. Tax and insurance is going to be on top of that, probably at least $250 more a month for your taxes and insurance. So about $4,230 to buy that particular home in today's market. APR is probably like 7.35. Anyway, so that gives you an idea of a single family home. A townhome right here, they're marketing a townhome in Saratoga Springs at $484,900. I've been in these homes, they're really nice. But again, let's go 20% down. That would be $96,980 put down on that $484,900. That would give you a loan amount of $387,920. So let's make that your principal value. Do the same interest rate, 7 GI, payment $360N. That gives you a payment of $2,580. Again, that's principal and interest. That doesn't include your taxes and insurance. Let's change the sign again. I'm just going to add $250 for that. Total payment for a townhome right around $2,830 with a very hefty down payment. Again, your APR is probably about the same, 7.3 or somewhere in there. Finally, they're marketing their new townhomes in Mapleton, Harmony Ridge. This is a really cool neighborhood. I actually have a video on that. I'll put a link in the up here in the video somewhere up above. You can go check out this this development where I toured some of their townhomes along with some of their single family homes. Really cool development. Anyway, their condo is marketed at $325,900. So let's go $325,900, store one. 20% down on that would be $65,180. Recall one minus. That would give you a loan amount of $260,720. Let's turn that into your principal value. Same interest rate, 7 GI, 30-year mortgage payment. That gives you a payment of $1,734, principal and interest only. Again, maybe $250 if you're taxed for everything else. So about $1,984, right around $2,000 for a house payment. Again, same APR, maybe 7.3. That gets you a 1,200 square foot condo, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1-car garage. Just an idea of what sample payments could be here for different types of home in Utah County. For those of you thinking of moving to the Utah area, where are you moving from and what's the reason why you're leaving your current city or state? I'm truly curious, so make sure to let me know down below. All right, so I hope that's given you a little bit of help in your determination where to live in Utah and just what it's going to cost you to live here. But some of the pros still remain. Utah has a very strong job market. You've got Silicon Slopes here in Utah County. It provides a lot of good job opportunities. You've got two beautiful universities in Utah Valley University and Brigham Young University. That's a big draw, brings a lot of good job opportunities as well. So those things remain. Of course, the outdoor lifestyle is just something that draws people here. There's so much to do with the outdoors. So there's just still a lot of draws for people wanting to move to Utah. Some of the cons are, well, our housing has just gotten more expensive. That's a deterrent for some people to move here or to continue to live here. You know, the truth is Utah is not a hidden gem, and that's just really pushed up the prices everywhere along Utah County. But if you're looking for clean cities and outdoor access, you know, strong communities, thriving job markets, Utah County may still be the right place for you, a great fit for you. Again, my name is Scott Walters of Best USA Realty. I am your Utah YouTubing realtor. I help people buy, sell, relocate, invest in Utah, and I'd love to help you too. Go check out some of my buyer and seller guides and relocation guides, should be in the description down below. And go check out my video, The Best Places to Live in Utah County in 2025. Should be somewhere up here. And with that, we'll catch you on the next video.